What type of run do y'all think?
Oh,
What type of run do y'all think Trump's about to go on in 2024? Because he's coming back with a vengeance.
yes, he is. He is gonna come. He's gonna come strong, and his fucking supporters are gonna be off the shits, bro. It's gonna be wild. It's gonna be fucking wild, and I'm not looking forward to it. It's gonna be
I'm
crazy.
not neither.
All you're gonna hear is, "See, I told you these last 4 years was this. Told y'all Joe Biden was this." I think it's gonna be madness, absolute madness.
He's coming crazy. He's coming crazy. Like, I want everybody to understand, this man is going to come crazy in the next. I'm telling you, if he doesn't fulfill anything that he said in the next 2-3 years, is dubs. You thought everything back in 2016,
and I really think because of the way
over.
that people saw how people came out to support Biden, people are going to be coming out to support Trump like crazy, bro, like crazy. And it might, and it's either going to be a tighter election than it was this past time, or Biden's just going to get blown out the water.
You're not looking forward to, bro. I just don't know I don't know what to expect. You feel me? Like, you feel me? I feel like it's gonna be like beyond our wildest like imaginations, like what we can comprehend about what can potentially
chaos
happen. You feel me? Because like you said, we never thought the Capitol thing was gonna ever happen, and that happened. So it's like you can only imagine what lengths this man's gonna go to retaliate, get back to everybody that tried to get him out of office, get back to everybody that tried to impeach him, and all this stuff. Because I can already hear right now he's gonna be on that podium. They tried to impeach me for the second time and they couldn't do it, and I'm still standing. He's gonna use that, something like that, to rally his troops, and it's gonna be oh my gosh, and it's gonna be, the election is gonna be, I think, a battle for the ages. We thought this one was gonna be the one for the history. I think 2024 is gonna be the one that's gonna be like, are we gonna push forward as a country, or is it gonna be something where, not at a standstill, we might take steps back because people are gonna be literally at war with each other, bro.
You want my honest opinion?
So real quick, let me say something real quick before you go to. And I think something that's crazy about the next election is both of these men will be in their 80s. Biden already is. If Biden can't even make it to the next election, these men are going to be in their 80s. Do we want to continue to have these older men beating the ones that are running this country? You know what I'm saying? I'm not looking forward to it at all. Go ahead, Tobe.
I said it last time. I'm gonna say it again. This dictatorship is coming. It's coming,
bro. Don't put that in the air. Do not put that energy in the air,
bro. It's in the air. It's like, it's not even me. It's in the air already. I've been smelling it for the past 3, 4, 5, 6 months. You think about it. Hitler and Trump are the same exact nigga, same exact people. Trump blame Mexicans, blame all these different people for the reason why America is not this. No.
I'm not.
Toby, you can't just throw Hitler out there like that, bro. You can't just throw Hitler out there like that, bro, because this man murdered 12 million people. So they don't even know how many people he murdered, bro. In a totally different regime that it was. He had Nazis. It was unbelievable things that he was able to do, bro. Trump is not on that level, bro. He's not on that level. He's not going to be able to get there in 4 years.
So when Trump,
you can't just throw Hitler out there.
Bro. Wait.
You can't throw Hitler.
You can't just throw Hitler out there, bro.
No context.
You can't.
Wait, because I'm giving y'all the context. So to answer your question, to push back on you, Shannon. So when Trump found out about the coronavirus, and he deliberately didn't do anything, when he deliberately removed himself he deliberately said the World Trade Organization doesn't get information, when he now said, don't run from coronavirus, when he made jokes and almost 1 million people have been killed, that's not neglect. That's not blame.
We're not
I'm not saying that's not neglect. I agree with you. That is neglect. But you're talking about fucking Hitler, bro. You're talking about Hitler.
But think about it like this. I'm not saying this in the sense that he's going to kill 12 million people, but you also have to understand the type of mindset that both of these two people have. They both have a very, very big obsession. They both had a very big obsession with a particular demographic of people who were ruining their respective countries. Trump with the Mexicans and all these different other people, and Hitler with the Jews, right? Number two, let me finish my point. The coup d'etats, the same exact thing that happened. Trump tried to plan a coup d'etat. Hitler had a coup d'etat. Both of these things failed. The only difference between Trump and Hitler right now is that Trump didn't go to jail and Hitler went to jail and he wrote a book, Mein Kampf. And as a result, he came out and then became the leader that he is today. He lost and came back. Donald Trump has every means to come back right now and create a ridiculous amount of disrespectful political campaign that I probably think is going to happen. And so I'm not saying this to sit here and say he's going to kill somebody, he's going to start World War IV or whatever. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying in terms of their rise, in terms of Hitler's rise to a dictatorship, Trump is not too far off from how Hitler looks right now. And people are not paying attention to that. He's not.
That's a wild comparison, bro. And I think
How is that wild?
I think a lot of people are going to be really offended by what you just said.
How?
Because Hitler had a whole army of fucking Nazis behind him that was going into countries, taking over and killing people. Trump isn't doing that. But he was killing people by the hundreds of thousands.
But what I'm saying
taking it
is
into camps and killing them with gas. I don't think you can
compare
it to, Toby.
And what I understand who I'm comparing him to, but that's what I'm saying. Never did I said that Trump is going to come back, get into office, and go and start killing people left and right. That's not what I'm saying at all. But what I am saying is that Hitler came into office, had total control specifically because when the Holocaust happened, part of what people tend to also forget is that when the whole situation happened with the Jews, when they tried to seek asylum in America, Americans were like, nah, we're not doing that. A lot of the countries during that time were like, no, we're not allowing Jews into the country. So now when they came back to Germany because they had to, Hitler was like, all right, cool. You see what the shit happened? This is the reason why nobody F's with you. And it indirectly justified him to act the way that he was acting.
I don't know about that, Tobe. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I am going to, believe me, after this podcast is over, I'm going to fact check exactly what you just said with some real Jews. And I'm going to find out the truth about what you just said, because I think you're totally wrong about what you just said. But that's just me. You could be right. You could be right, but I don't know. I'm going to find out is all that I'm saying. I'm going to find out about what you just said.
I want to state for the record, what I'm trying to say is that part of what happened during the Holocaust, I'm not justifying anything that happened during the Holocaust. And I'm not saying that Trump is exactly like Hitler. But during this time that happened, from what I read and from the information I was looking at, the Jews did try to leave the country. Americans were not letting Jews into the country at a certain point in time. And so what ended up happening was they came back. And after that, that was when the Holocaust started rolling. It could have been in between events, but during that time, they did try to come to America, and Americans were not letting Jewish people in. That is for a fact.
All we're saying is the comparison is like, I'm saying like the comparison.
I'm gonna have to fact check that.
Why the simple fact of what that man actually did, you feel me? Like in a simple fact of like what actually came about from him being the power, you feel me? I understand what you're trying to get out in terms of like their rise to power, whatever it may be, and all that stuff. But I don't know if it's gonna get. I don't know.
To use a different person, I think, than Hitler.
Because
Hitler, what he did, it was unfathomable, and I don't think we'll ever see it again. Now, there's been other genocides in other countries, but I don't think we'll ever see it on that level and have it be so blatant as it was during those times. You know what I'm saying? I would compare him to a different dictator than Hitler.
I would very much like to say that I get what y'all are saying, and I understand what you're saying. Actually, I'm not going to go there today. I don't want to do it today. But all I'm going to say, I'm not going to go there today, but all I'm going to say is...
Go where?
All I'm going to say is, I think that American history has its way of projecting certain things in certain ways to make themselves look like heroes.
Nah. I don't think. No. I think you're. No, listen.
If I run off this,
listen.
Oh man.
Listen. the American history part when it comes to what's projected as empire, yeah, but I don't think any of us are putting America in the light when it comes to that in terms of this conversation right here. I understand we all know the American history is altered to make us look a certain way. We know that. You feel me? That's not something that's not known. But I'm saying when it comes to this specifically, I'm not necessarily. I don't. How
Hitler is in the class of his own, bro. He's in the class of his own. No, ain't nobody gonna be able to touch that. Period. The man murdered 12 million people. You gotta look on your face all you want. That's another fact that I'm giving you, bro. Nobody in this century will be able to do what Hitler did, bro.
In terms of this century, yeah. But what I'm trying to say is, I don't deny what Hitler did. But what I was trying to say is that my problem with American culture, my problem with American history is that in a lot of times we shift narratives a certain way to make it seem as if something is extremely terrible. What other people do are extremely terrible. Like, I don't deny the fact that Hitler killed 12 million people, but let's also not deny the fact that a bunch of Europeans did go to the largest continent in the world and probably killed more people than we ever can imagine and brought them here as slaves.
But we're not saying that.
But
we agree with that.
We agree with that.
What I'm trying to say is I'm using that as an example to say, like, I get your point of what you're saying in terms of in this century that will probably never ever happen. A lot of things will probably never ever happen again during this century. But what's going to end up happening is let's just even assume what I'm saying is correct. What'll end up happening is that people are gonna bring up the Hitler comparisons. They will, not in terms of killing people, but they'll bring it up in terms of rise to power, how he was preaching, how they both had similar hatreds towards a group of demographics, and just specifically how they were going to end up treating people who were against him. And that's the point of what I'm trying to say. It's not to sit here and say he's going to go out and kill people. That's not what I'm saying at all. If anything, I think that he's just going to send hella people to jail.
So my point to that would be like when you bring something up like that, I think you have to be clear in your rhetoric and like how you.
Y'all didn't let me finish. That's why.
No, we heard.
I honestly think that anytime bringing up Hitler in the conversation, I just don't personally like it just because of what he did, the amount of people that he killed. He had Hitler Youth, he had women, that regime was insanity. I can't, and it's still to me unfathomable that the rest of the world sat there and let something like that go on and watched it go on for as long as it did. You know what I mean? So I just think when you bring, I could point to a lot of people that hate a certain demographic or a certain group, but I'm not gonna compare them to fucking Hitler.
We can.
That's all I was trying to say.
We can even look at our country as a whole, like in what we do in other countries. You feel me? Like, so, like when it comes to like American history and stuff like that, I don't ever put our country like on a high pedestal because we do some outlandish stuff. We've done some outlandish stuff when it comes to our history in general. I don't disagree with that at all. That's why I said when you said like American history, we have a bad like perception based on this. I was like, I don't feel like we, like the ones that are in this conversation, had that perception because we know what really goes on. But we know what really goes down. We know that certain things happen in certain places and people don't want to see it as that. They'll call them war heroes, whatever it may be. But if you look at the grand scheme of things and why we're over there for reasons, a lot of times we shouldn't be over there killing, bombing places, whatever it may be. I agree with that totally.
We do things we do things for the sake of democracy. We were in the Middle East for the sake of democracy.
Yeah.
We built a democracy in Israel, right? And just bringing it all back. Now it's like we did all this stuff since all this time for the sake of democracy, all for us to now be in a position where we didn't even want Joe Biden in office. Like, we were essentially indirectly manipulated to end up having to vote for him just because of how the DNC was moving behind the scenes. All for us to now, because we didn't want to move to a progressively socialist country, we now had to automatically vote for Biden because they wanted to push their agenda. And it's like, just even going to Texas now, it's like, it's the same exact thing. We voted for somebody through democracy for what? For him to now go say, hey, my daughters were at home and they wanted to go to Mexico. I don't give a fuck about that.